Clip 01.
In 1938, Malcolm X was kicked out of school and sent to a juvenile detention home in Michigan. The white couple who ran the home treated him well, but he wrote in his autobiography that he was treated more like a pink poodle or a pet than a human being. He attended Mason High School, where he was only a few black students. He excelled academically and was well liked by his classmates, who elected him as class president. A turning point in Malcolm X's childhood came in 1939 when his English teacher asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he answered that he wanted to be a lawyer. His teacher responded, one of life's first needs is for us to be realistic. You need to think of something you can be. Why don't you plan on a carpenter? Having thus been told in no uncertain term that there was no point in a black child pursuing education, Malcolm X dropped out of school the following years at the age of 15. After quitting school, Malcolm X moved to Boston to live with his older half-sister Ella, about whom he later recalled, "She was the first really proud black woman I have ever seen in my life. She was plainly proud of her very dark skin. This was unheard of among Negroes in these days." She landed Malcolm a job shining shoes at the Roseland Ballroom. However, out of his own street of Boston, Malcolm X became acquainted with the city's criminal underground, soon turning to selling drugs. He got another job as a kitchen help on the Yankees Clipper train between New York and Boston, and fell further into a life of drug crime. Sporting flamboyant pinstrip zoot suit, he frequent nightclubs and dance halls and turned more fully to crime to finance his lavish lifestyle. His phase of Malcolm X's life came to a screeching halt in 1946 when he was arrested on charges of larceny and sentenced to 10 years in jail. To pass the time during his incarceration, Malcolm X read constantly, devouring books from prison library in attempt make up for the years of education he had missed by dropping out of high school. Also, while in prison, he was visited by several siblings who had joined to the Nation of Islam, a small speck of black Muslims who embraced the ideology of black nationalism, the idea that in order to secure freedom, justice, and equality, black Americans need to establish their own state entirely separate from white Americans. Malcolm X converted to the Nation of Islam while in prison, and upon his release in 1952, he abandoned his last name Little, which he considered a slavery last name, in favor of X. X means attributed to the unknown name of his African ancestors. Now, as soon as I left prison, I became a free man. Malcolm X traveled to Detroit, Michigan, where he worked with the leader of the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad, to expand the movement following among black Americans nationwide. Malcolm X became the minister to Temple No. 7 in Harlem and Temple No. 11 in Boston, while also founding new templates in Hartford for Philadelphia in 1960s. He established a national newspaper, Muhammad Speaks, in order to further promote the message of Nations of Islam. By the early... Okay, cut it.